It's funny. I always get nervous.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm scared to set up the camera wrong and set up everything wrong, because in the beginning, man, it was.
No, trust me, bro. Trust me. I got 2 at the crib right now. That's like, I'll be thinking that same thing.
Yeah.
Trying to do it by yourself.
It's in the beginning. So I'm by myself. I don't have a team to produce this or anything like that. And then the amount of mistakes that I've made, there are episodes where there's a crazy echo, and there's episodes where there's like a lot of grain, and it took me a while just to get everything, just to get it to be normal, Yeah. And so all that, like, it sucks. It used to suck. I remember recording a full episode and loving the episode, and then going back to and hearing it, and it sounds like shit, and then I have to use the sound from the cameras, right, which have super echo, and
it's gonna be
bad.
It's one of those things where it's so much trial and error with this camera stuff. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna mess up 1,000 times before you get it right. To the point where you like it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
but then I feel like I'm never happy. I'm never 100% happy with anything.
Never.
And this is a new endeavor for me. But even when I go back to just photography, right, or videography, the only thing I see are my mistakes. Like I don't necessarily see the positives that other people see. I tend to focus so much on the things I could have done better that I don't appreciate the great shots that I take sometimes. And I gotta catch myself thinking that way, because I shouldn't think that way at all. I should see the beauty in the things that I do. I should see the things that I do right before I see the things that I would do wrong.
Look, I just had this conversation with my fiance, like we were talking, and I was just like, for a long time, being in a mindset of getting better, or like really getting into a groove where you're like, yo, I love my work. Like, this is me. It took a long time for me to get there. For other people, like on the outside, was just like, yo, his shit is fire. But I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't where I want it to be. You know what I mean? So you will go through that phase of just like, other people appreciating the work more than you at one point in time. But once you hit that moment where you not only just you find your style, but when you actually still got the energy to do it. You know what I mean? Because I think some people are going to take a lot longer. Some people are not going to catch it right away. Some people are going to just keep missing it or whatever, or they just going to not they're not watching anything, or they're not like looking for inspo. They just feel like, they may be only in their head, where you're not going to find the perfect way that you want to be a photographer without even going to like look for it. You know what I'm saying? Outside of just picking up your camera. Right. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just got to just watch stuff. Like one thing, like whenever I drive around, I see an image that I'm like, damn, I could have took that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's if I was a better photographer, I might have been out there and got that shot already. But now I know that shot is out there. Now I know whenever I go outside where I need to be looking and stuff like that. So that's not even, I didn't even use my camera. You know what I mean? Like that was just something that you just learn. So listen, man, when you go through those phases, I feel like as a photographer, you're going to do that. Like you're looking at your images and you're seeing better. You're seeing stuff that's like, dang, they like this one. Like this is the one. You're like, you know what? All right, cool. Let me go back to this set. Cause we show 3 pictures, but we end up with like hundreds of just
thousands
one
sometimes.
Look.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like man, like that's one of the things I can't agree with something like that. Our mindset is that's similar. Like people do go through those things when it comes to like just being a critic of your own work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's okay because you learn from it. You should anyway.
At what point do you think being critical is going too far? At what point do you think that you've seen other photographers be overly critical of the work, or other creatives in general be overly critical?
I don't know, bro. Like I couldn't even answer that because I think that would be more personal.
Yeah.
Because if it becomes overcritical for you, it could be, it could be different things for each individual. I don't know. Some people might have had a rough life, so how they learned photography was real critical on themselves. You know what I mean? So like they might push themselves a little bit further than I would, but it gets them to where they need to be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe just based off that, but I don't know, man. How far? Like for me personally, I never get too critical of the work. If I ever just looked at my work and I put it out in the universe that it was trash, like, oh, this is horrible, then I would think that would be too critical of, you know what I mean? Like when you just, you know how it is, you put bad words into things and it become that, you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, that would be too critical for me, but I would never look at my work, and I don't think any artist should ever kind of, be to a point where they hate their work to the point they'll call it trash. Right. I think it's just like, oh, it's another kid that you got to grow and learn with. You know what I mean? 100%. Like it's another style that you got to figure it out, you know? So I don't know. Yeah, I'm long-winded, bro.
No, so you told me something really cool when I first met you, and how you delete your work. Mm-hmm. And you delete, you post for, I don't know how long, you post for a certain amount of time and then you delete it all. Yeah. I mean, so to me, when I first heard that, I was like, man, I don't think I could ever do that, because I like being able to scroll back 5 years and see the kind of things that I was posting. And like whenever I'm feeling that I'm not being creative, or whenever I feel that I'm just not happy with my current posts or my current shoots, I can look back and be like, man, I'm way better than that guy who, 5-6 years ago. Yeah, for sure. Right. For sure. But you do something different can you explain that?
Look, I look at it like not being attached to the work. Yeah, I do. I like going through, through old work at times, just seeing like, dang, 2016, that's what I was doing. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, dang, 2014 is my first shoot. What? This is crazy. Like, I like doing that, but then I treat, honestly, like right now it's empty, but I'm getting there. But I treat my Instagram as like it's the billboard. It's like I'm like I told you, I do music, before we started recording, but like it's one of those things where the artist, you create a new album, you know what I mean? And you see it. You even see artists like now, they'll go through and delete everything off their page. Very true. And start posting again because they're promoting you. They're giving you something else to look for. So when you go on their page, you should only know about what they're posting about. Right. Not about what we did, in the past or whatever, because now they're growing. So I do that in the sense of with the work, it's just like, this is my new album where. No, I love that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing music, but I still got an artist, like rapper mentality with my work where, when I go into the studio to write or record, it's a new sheet of paper. That's what you delete everything. It's just white. It's blank. Right. Now, what could I put on it? Based off everything I've learned from what I show people, but what can I do now? You know what I mean?
No, and it's funny. I didn't even realize that until just now, because all the big fashion houses, whenever you look at Gucci, Louis Vuitton, whatever, they delete everything for every season. Every season they delete all their posts, right? Okay, and then they repost again. Yeah. And so I didn't put the two and two together until just now. But it's true. You don't want people to focus on the past things. You want them to focus on what you're creating now. Yeah. That's amazing. I never thought about that.
You training the eye. You gotta train the eye to fall in love with what you're giving them. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe I put up a post and I was like, dang, it still feel like 2018. You know what I mean? Where it just felt like, my algorithms was still stuck on the same, because I don't be on IG a lot, right? But I'm looking at it like, you know what? If someone come on my page and they see, let's say they see some great work from 2018, they're going to hit me in 2023. They're like, hey, you know how they do. They go through your page and like everything, and then they leave a comment on a couple, and then they may share the post to you, and they may hit you with one of those and say, hey, I want to do this. And it might be like,
you don't even do it anymore.
Yeah, you're like, you don't even know. This location or this lighting, I'm not really doing it. So you want them to when they come on your page, this is what they should expect to shoot from you, is this style. And that's just me when I decided I'm doing the change. I started in New York. So being in New York, New Jersey, just running around, I had to create an image that looked like that. It looks like city. It looks like street. I'm a street photographer anyway, but I come to Florida, it got to look like Florida. It got to be beaches. It got to be palm trees. It got to be, you know, cars and stuff. So now it's the reset. Like, it's no more of the street stuff. I can't give you that. So I hear what I'm going to, this is what I'm going to do moving forward. And, you know, that's all they have is either you're going to love it or you don't. Most of them, you know.
Most of them love your work. Or you wouldn't be here right now.
I wouldn't be still doing it. You know what I mean? If I didn't feel like real appreciation for the work, I wouldn't even be. That's why I'm like, I appreciate coming here doing stuff like this. Because, you know, all of us creators got to have, like, you know, people that's just like supportive, that really genuinely, you know, care about the work.
100%.
I mean? So, yeah.
I want to ask, boss, how did you pick up a camera? What started this whole journey?
Music.
Yeah.
Music, it was just like, you know, I want to shoot more videos, but, you know, I don't know how I'm going to do it with me being a rapper, and you know what I'm saying? So I was like, maybe I can just try to do like short films. And
while doing music.
Okay. And eventually I had to get the camera and learn how to use it, you know what I mean? Before I even started, you know, trying to film anything. I didn't even do video, to be honest with you, until a few years later. But yeah, it was just wanting to do something with my music, but then it just turned into like a whole monster of its own, where it's just the music kind of took the back seat and the photography just kind of like took me everywhere, you know what I mean?
How did that happen? How did that transition? So you were a rapper, right?
Yeah. First I was just making music, you know, it really wasn't it was never a thought of being a photographer until I got to a point I feel like I needed more visuals for music. And from there, like I said, just, you know, reaching out to one of my homegirls, because I always felt like I knew visually with women, you know what I mean? Like what men would like, you know, what men love based off music videos, you know what I mean? Watching movies like Boomerang, you know what I mean? Seeing Halle Berry and Nia Long, and just, it's like, okay, how they walk in a room. Even, what's the movie? The Mask with Jim Carrey. I forget who Cameron Diaz, I believe it was, right? She comes down the steps. It's just, it's a visual thing that, you know, they did with TV that was like, oh, I can do that. You know what I mean? Like, I see how they set it up, so naturally it just was like, I can just shoot my homegirls. Like, I can just hit whoever up who's free and just learn how to use this camera. I know they want pictures, like, it's cool, whatever, like, and that's where it just kind of took off, because people just started DMing and me, let me do more. You know what I mean?
What was your first camera that you
got? Canon Rebel I want to say the T3i.
That was my very first camera too, man.
I want to say my first one. I think it was no. I'm wrong. I had bought the T3i, right? And I got home and I remember like, did I get the right one? So I like got on Google and I started looking up more, and I seen the T5i. So I was like, nah. I took the other one back like the next day. I was like, I can't go back tonight.
Right.
So I went back the next day, took it back, but I exchanged it for the T5i, and I kept running with that one.
Gotcha.
And that was my camera for like 2014. I got it. And 2016.
Damn, it's a long time for that entry-level camera.
2017 is when I got the new camera.
That's a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to show that gear isn't as important as we think it is.
Nah. That was my thing. Like, being a photographer, like, especially just new to it, I just started feeling like I needed a new camera. I need a new lens. I'm still like that now. It's like, I want this, I want that. You know, it just never stops. But what I understood, too, was I had to respect the equipment that I did have, you know what I mean? I had to respect the you know, you gotta trust the process, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta respect that part too, where, all right, if I got this, I gotta be the best one at this with this camera, you know what I mean? Or I gotta figure out this best to its ability so that at least I can get something that I can be like, all right, I'm happy with this, you know?
Right.
And I kept that camera because once I put the 50 millimeter, the prime 1.4 on it, oh my God, it was just
it changed your life.
Oh, what have I been doing with my life? Like, it changed the quality of the work. It just it felt different. It was cleaner. And I shoot with Canon. Mm-hmm. So, like, I was like, oh my God. Because Canon already had, like, a sharp cinematic feel. And that's more like my style. You know what I mean? But, like, I knew once I got, like, a different lens to put on here instead, because I was using the kit lens.
Still,
like,
for that long.
For that, like, I got the 50 mil probably like, I want to say like tax season 2016, I believe.
Like 2 years after you started shooting.
Yeah. But before that, it was just a kit lens. Whatever I would do, it was just like,
that's impressive.
It was like an 18 to 55 or something like that. Yeah. But it helped me with like lighting. Because, you know, shooting with a lens like that, you're going to have the best type of lighting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I ain't want to really... And I was using lights and strobes like that, but it was just... I had to be outside with it. So, yeah, man. The 50 millimeter kind of changed the game for me. And on that, when I got the 6D, that was really a game changer after that. So, yeah, man, it's...
Just changed everything. What's your setup right now? What do you run with?
I use the Canon 5D Mark IV.
Okay.
With my favorite lens, and what's crazy is I've always only used like minimum gear. I think that kind of stuck with me with dealing with the kit lens. But like, it's the Sigma 35 millimeter, the 1.4, and then I'll use the 24 to 105, the 4. That's it.
That's all you got.
You know, and I got a 50 millimeter. I got like a cheap one that I got one time. My lens had broke on the luggage or something like that. I was so destroyed, so I had to order something real quick. Mm-hmm. And I don't really use it. It's a 50 millimeter. Probably cost me like $80 on Amazon. Yeah. But that's it. So the 35 is just like...
What is it about the 35 that you like?
I like wide.
Yeah.
I like wide. I like room to see more in the shot, even if I am tight, or you know what I mean. And if it is a wide shot, now I can feel more cinematic with how I edit it or whatever the case may be. So I was using a 28 for a long time when I moved here.
Prime?
Yeah, they're the prime.
Oh,
I was using that. Honestly, that was the only lens I had. I got here. Look, man, I broke some lens, but that was the only lens I had. 2018, and I probably got another lens. I don't even know.
Just recently.
I don't even know. Like it probably was the 24 to 105 was the next lens that I got.
I think that's a perfect focal length. I think 24 to 105, you have everything. There's nothing more that you need at that point. Oh, man. And I feel like I learned a new style with that, just shooting with that, because it was different from using the 35. Yeah, 100%.
So, like, and it was different from using the 28. You know what I mean? Like,
it's crazy how lenses are like personalities, right?
Yeah.
And so every lens has their own, it's almost like the pictures speak to you in a different way.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And the way that you shoot changes too with the lens that you have on. Yeah. So if you're shooting prime lenses, you're moving around, you're doing backflips and trying to get different angles and crashing on the floor. And you're everywhere just because you have no choice, right? Yeah. But then when you have a zoom lens, I don't want to say that it makes you a lazy photographer, but it definitely allows you to not have to work as hard for the shots that you want.
Oh, yeah, look. Know? And the crazy part is, I feel like I'm a prime lens shooter, though. Mm-hmm. And even with the 24 to 105, I'm still like... You're
still moving around.
All over the place with it. Just as if, because I'll find a spot and I'm like, all right, this is where I need it. Now let me move around. Like, because now I'm back in prime mode. You know what I mean? Then if I zoom out, if I zoom in, it's kind of like I'm going to do the same thing.
Right.
So instead of just sitting in one spot getting the shots, I kind of move around. Because it's, that comes with being a street photographer where you don't really sit still. You can't really make this lady stop walking, but you want to get her crossing the street. You know what I mean? You got to follow her or you're going to miss the shot. So that's kind of how I work with my models too, with those type of lens. It's let me follow you. Like,
can you break down your process more? Because I don't shoot street, so I'm not familiar.
Okay. I mean, street is more one of those things where it's, you know, you can't hesitate. It's like you really a sniper. You know what I mean? Like, it's you don't hesitate. If you see the shot, take it. Don't always just get comfortable with it being there in front of you. You might have to move a little bit. You might have to change the angle. You might have to get her to do something or get her to be a little bit more natural. Like, street photography is one of those things where it's a continuous shoot. Like, everything is happening in front of you, so you got to be able to catch anything and everything that's happening. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of how I approach the shoots with models. I like for them to kind of just, for a while it was, you know, pose, because I had to learn, you know, how to figure it out, what I like and what I don't like, and how to get comfortable with even talking to models, because street photographer, you're by yourself. It ain't no coaching people. It's maybe you and the earbuds, but me, no earbuds, because I need to hear somebody going, you know what I mean? I'm in the streets.
Yeah, you got to be able to
so, like,
be aware.
Definitely be safe out there with your cameras, because, you know, they'll take them. They'll take them. Like, you know, you go to New York City and you're in a train and you turn your head talking to your friends, you know, your camera might be gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
have you seen that happen before?
Never seen it happen, but a couple of my friends has happened to. I've seen it on IG plenty of times where cameras just get taken. You know what I mean? Nothing never happened to me.
Yeah, thank God.
Always try to, like, one time I had an incident, just be, you know, lacking, falling asleep on a train, but, you know, I was like this with it.
You trying to take the camera from me while you were sleeping?
No. I just, me falling asleep was just like a bad idea, right. Like on a train, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, anybody could have ran up, took it, ran, and I would have been like, what the fuck happened, you know? So, that's about it though. Nothing ever, because I always try to be mindful, even if I got the camera on a strap with my wrist, right, where it's there, I can feel it. Even if they do take it, I can feel that being taken, and I could, you know, whatever. But it's one of those things still, if they do take it, they can have it.
Yeah, for sure. It's never worth it.
Like, it's not that important. It's important to me to have it, but if they're going to take it, don't risk it. But
could you walk me through that? Because I'm super curious about street photography. So when you first got started, there wasn't a model. It was just whatever you saw in your environment.
Yeah, right? It was. Like I said, the first shoot was with a model friend of mine. Well, she wasn't even a model. She was just a friend that I knew from back home. Hey, I got a camera. You want to take some pictures? You know what I mean?
Exactly how it always starts that way.
You know, why not? You know what I'm saying? So that happened, but that was in North Carolina, because I got my camera in North Carolina, because that's kind of where I grew up at. From New Jersey, Patterson, but raised in North Carolina. So I'm in North Carolina with my moms, and, you know, my grandfather was sick at the time. So I'm like, I got to get this camera. Like, this is the time to get it. Like, something got to, you know, I was 24. I was 24. So I'm like, I got to do something where I could make a change or whatever. So that's why I was thinking, okay, how can I upgrade the music to at least get to somewhere? But I did have in mind, I wanted to shoot films. You know what I'm saying? So once I left North Carolina is when I went back home to Jersey. It was like 2 months after I got the camera. Probably less than that, a month and a half. And that's when it was just like, okay, I don't really know too many girls to be just like asking if I could just shoot with them, like just DMing people. Like, that's not my style. Like, okay, I'm cool if it's my friends. And that's mostly how it was. Like, I had friends that I would just like meet up with, and we would just practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wanted pictures and would try to be a model, and I'm just like, all right, I got to learn. But it wasn't all the time. Like, it wasn't like eventually it became that way, but it was me outside in the cold, New York City, gloves on, can't feel the shutter. You know what I mean? Like, having to walk into the Starbucks where a million people is at, huddled up, trying to get warm. It was just, you know, a lot of walking around till your feet hurt and trying to get shots. Because every moment isn't going to be a shot. You're just out there, like, hoping you see something, or, being patient. You might stand on the corner, look around for a little bit, see if you see something happening or whatever. But being a street photographer really like helped me learn like how to use my camera, learn how to be quick with an eye, how to see things happen before it happened. Like seeing the smoke come from the sewer, you're like, okay, as soon as that lady come across the street, I gotta be right here to take this shot. Mm-hmm. It's one of those, man. It's like you're really a sniper. You really gotta be out there moving, keeping your eyes moving, keeping the head on swivel, just not wanting to miss anything. And that's where, going with shooting with models, that's when that process begins with, all right. And that recently just clicked in my head on that's how I should be.
Walk me through that.
No, because it was always just shooting models the way, we shot models just for IG. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just, you start seeing a resemblance with the same shots, the same poses, the same, even sometimes the same editing. You just start seeing the same, and it's just like, all right, how can I approach shooting models a little bit different? Because I still love street photography. Right? Mm-hmm. I can go do that for the rest of my life, and the model stuff is second to me. You know what I'm saying? So, but I still love it. You know what I mean? Like I still feel like I have a lot of fun doing it, just being out there, just learning and being with women that appreciate, the work as much as I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Instead of it just being just like a quick cute flick or whatever.
Right.
It's one of those things where I had to sit back, because like I said, it's street photography more than anything. And the model stuff, I kind of got bored because of it. Started feeling like I was just shooting the same style, trying to get the same edits, trying to do the same perfect retouching or whatever, right? I was like, that's not me. I'm a hip hop street photographer type guy. Like I like to be, a little different. I like to be a little, dirty, so to say. You know what I mean? So just even thinking about like for a long period of time, it was like, okay, no grain, like none, like leave grain alone.
Why?
Just keep it, because that was just what I saw as like on IG, what was at the time, because I'm shooting models in 2015, so that was it wasn't too many.
The fake film era.
Yeah, and you still got Instagram filters. People are using those on pictures and stuff, and it's like, oh my god. Yeah. And it's funny because I did a photo shoot with, because I can't even mention me getting into photography without even bringing these two guys up, two photographers. When I first moved back to Jersey, I believe I had like 2 photo shoots in 1 year, I think it was. But I shot with still a good friend of mine to this day, Photo Mark. Mm-hmm. He was based in New York at the time in 2014.
Long time ago.
Yeah, and I'm doing music. I'm like, bro, I need to shoot. I got some songs I'm working on. I just need pictures now because I'm trying to be seen. You know what I mean? I want to be seen. So he gave me his price. I'm like, all right, I got it. And we did the shoot. It was dope, have fun. And still to this day, he always gave me pointers, always show love. When I was struggling, trying to figure out how to learn Photoshop, he was like, yo, do this, use this tool, try this. And more than what he, help more than what he probably know. You know what I'm saying? So, and I shot with Brendan Forbes.
You shot with Brendan Forbes?
Yeah.
That man's a legend too.
And he's a legend, man. Like it was one of those things where he was a legend at that. Well, I can't say he was a legend because I found his work and was like, this is dope. Like, right. I like this. You know what I mean? And I had to DM him like, let me see if I can get some pics. Like I need something. So he responded, gave me his price. I can do that. You know what I mean? Like it was, none of these prices were nothing that was just like, oh my God, it's too expensive. Or would make me even feel disrespected that they would even tell me that. You know what I'm saying? It was just the thought of, if that's his price, I respect it, I'm going to pay it, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? I like his work. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to put that out there for people that might, you know what I mean? Just
I love
paying
that.
photographers, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
So, because sometimes, like, when I went to his page, I saw his work, just like with Mark was, I saw the work. I love the work. So I made a decision in my head. This is who I want to work with. And once I got the price back, now if it was too much, it would have been like,
right. But you wouldn't have discounted his efforts, right?
I wouldn't have looked at it as like, really? You know what I mean? Like it was just, I don't have it. But with these prices, man, I couldn't believe it. It was just like, I can do this. Like, I ain't making that much at work. You know what I mean? I'm working at Lowe's at the time or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Part-time cashier. Yeah. So it was just, I got it. Let's do it. We did the shoot in New York with Brendan Forbes, and cool dude, real cool dude. We walked around a little bit. I had my blazer on with my tie or Ray-Bans. I just thought I was like, I gotta do the pictures. Like, what? Yeah. And it was dope because I'm like, look, I'm in New York City. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a little country town, trailer park kid. So it was like, let me make something of it. You know what I mean? And just being around him, just seeing how he was shooting and placing me against stuff, and it was really dope location. I might post these pictures eventually, but like really dope locations of just like the way the walls was set up and stuff. And he was really dope with he made it look easy with finding spots. Like I would have never like.
You can imagine him shooting with him.
And then, now you're talking to like me now, being a photographer, I was like, of course I would have. Like, why not? Yeah. But that experience kind of like helped me with just being a model. You know what I mean? Now I got some type of like how it feel, but that's not me. You know what I mean? Like I don't really care about being in front of the camera. I would love to get a couple pics here and there, but having those guys kind of like. But after that, me and Brendan Forbes never. We wanted to do something where we was talking about shooting a music video. But it never happened. I think we just stopped emailing each other. Or I probably just knew I wasn't going to be able to make the money right now and to be able to do it. So, but me and Mark, we just kind of just always stayed with it. He always showed love. So, those guys definitely was an influence on me early on. Because once I got the camera, it was like I knew I had people I could look for as inspiration. Right. Okay, he's doing it. He's doing it. Okay. Now, who am I? You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, it's beautiful experience.
No, it sounds beautiful. It sounds like an amazing thing.
Have fun, yeah.
I love and hate how big and small Instagram makes everything, right? Because there are times where I'll be on my Explore feed and I'll see a picture. I'm just like, holy shit, how did you even take that? How did you edit that? And it makes you, like, it's definitely inspiring. Yeah. Then it's also like, man, I don't even know. I've been shooting for almost 10 years, right? And I have no idea how the hell you did this thing. Like, and it's like you feel like you know what you've been doing, but then from one moment to the next, you have no idea what's going on anymore. And things are advancing so quickly now when it comes to how to edit, and when it comes to programs, when it comes to gear, things. A year goes by and everything you have is outdated almost. It's crazy how quickly things change and how quickly things grow. Yeah. And so it's always like you're in, or at least for me, I'm always in search of finding myself and finding myself while still growing and evolving. I guess being able to maintain a style, but still continuing with the times and still keeping up with what's happening in the community and the culture. That's always been it's been very hard for me lately for that. Like,
for my process with that, I like to just go to things that inspire me like visually. What? Like if I'm not shooting, I'm not shooting. You know, I'm not working. I'm not like creating something in real time to learn from it. It's just me having, like I was saying, like. Me having to still go and learn a little bit more when I'm not even using the camera. So watching movies, I'm a film guy. You know, I can't say I'm a film guy. Like I just love watching movies. You know what I mean? And I'm at a point now where I know I could probably film something. Like, write a script and do stuff. So watching things that just, I like watching things that inspire me, that I love watching, I enjoy watching. You find yourself within that. Like, you know what? What if I shot a model like this? You know what I mean? Or like, what if I did this scene in this movie, but what if I did it like this? It's you have to go, and that's how you kind of reinvent, because guess what? The new movies or the new shows, they still going to put them on Netflix, HBO. You can watch it and see, okay, this is what majority of the people is watching. I think I can do something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's, what's the show? Euphoria. Mm-hmm. Before I watched it, everyone talked about it. You know what I mean? It was videographers were telling me like, yo, this is dope. You know what I mean? Like, you got to see it visually. So once I watched it, I seen it. My girl was watching it all the time. You know what I mean? And I watched it. I'm looking at it like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Visually, if this is what people was watching, if this is something that we created visually as photographers, cinematographers, or whatever, what do you think is going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, people are going to love it. They're going to gravitate towards it because they already, especially the females, like, they're already seeing it. They're already watching it. It's something, even like if you go and watch Euphoria and watch like the sex scenes, it's like, shoot that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they in their lingerie or whatever, that's the visual that you could learn from just by studying film or studying, magazines. You know what I mean? Like, I found a magazine one day and just took it home. Pages ripped out of it, and it's some like fashion lookbook. You know, it has poses, it has like, wardrobe touches, and I'm like, wow, what is like? That's something I can use to say, you know what if I took this and brought it, in order to like grow with the times, man, you got to kind of just keep your eyes on what you love and how you can kind of like cater to that audience with your work. You know what I'm saying? Because I go look at the cinematography on the street photography side, and I'm like, okay, I'm bringing that over to the model side. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not over here. If it is, it's very few people that's doing it.
I don't know anyone who's doing it like you are. So in that way,
but see, that's one of those things where you just got to go and find different parts of like your world and pick it apart and see how can your work be a part of what's changing, and not just like, really keeping up with it, but if you can create something that want to make people be like, oh, I like that. Like, if people like watching fire, it's like, okay, how can you create some fire with fire? You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do with that to get people attention? So, yeah, man, you just got to kind of like use the stuff you already love. Like, just go back to even if it's just childhood things, you know what I mean? You kind of find inspiration, and you could find inspiration in a lot of different things that You'll see it once you know
once it clicks.
Yeah, once it clicks, for sure.
I want to ask you,
pun intended.
Like, the way you combine street photography with the portraits with models, because you have a really like you're a really good storyteller in your photos.
Oh, appreciate it.
So walk me through like a shoot. Like, let's say you were in, because also on top of a street photographer, now you're in South Florida. Yeah. So you got the beaches and the palm trees and all that. Like, how do you combine your street photography, like the foundational street photography, and incorporating that with the world that we live here and with the models?
So for the longest time, it was me just being what Florida was to me in my eyes. Like, it was beaches, it was palm trees. It wasn't me trying to like. Me being a street photographer, coming here and then trying to incorporate, I didn't know to do that you know what I mean? It just was, all right, if this is what I'm seeing, okay, I see it, all right, cool, but I'm going to shoot it in ways that I like it, but it's, once you look through that viewfinder and you see the model in position, you just know if it's a good shot. Like, you feel it, like you see it, even if the light is hitting, you're like, you know what? I have to take it. So one thing Florida was good for that was that, very few spaces. I mean, obviously with the sun and lighting and where you're going to get like bad, like, scenery, because it's, you can shoot anywhere and it's beautiful. But for the most part, I kind of just stuck to adapting here, like beach, and then eventually, like, you know, the nice Airbnbs, the cool pool shoots and stuff. Like, it just became that where that's a whole different world of street photography because we're lucky if we can get a pool shoot in New York, you know. And then wintertime, what do you think? We're in the studio for the whole
100%.
winter. There is no, like, if we actually, my first shoot in New York was with a model named Raven, and I had wanted to shoot with her. I reached out. She had like a lot of followers at the time. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, forget it. I can just try. Look, I'm building a portfolio. This is DMing on IG. You know, this is 2015. No, into 2014. And we shot the end of January
2015.
End of January 2015, right? So she's in New York, like in Harlem, and I'm in Jersey at work. I'm like, when I get off work, I'm going to just have my stuff in my locker, go. But I'm at work and it's snowing. Like, you know, winter up there in the snow, it's like...
It's impossible. I don't even want to imagine that.
I could catch the bus right at where I get off work at, walk to the bus stop, got my stuff in my book bag, and I'm like, man, it's snowing. And we're messaging each other on the phone, and she's like, it's a blizzard here. And I'm like, no, it's snowing crazy here. I was like, look, I understand if you know what I mean. She's like, no, I'm still down if you are.
There we go.
And I'm like, what?
There we go.
So I get out of work and snowing everywhere. It's like, oh my God, what are we doing? And I'm like, you know what? F it, I'm going to go. Like, why? So I get to New York. And I'm walking, got my hand on my head, like it's wind blowing, and I'm trying to walk up a hill, like, oh my. She showed up, we shot. She had a sweatsuit on, a really dope sweatsuit. I think she probably just really needed to shoot for the brand. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, but it was perfect because it was a big sweatsuit. And I'm like, I'm with it because I wanted to shoot, you know what I mean? And we knocked it out in this whole snowstorm. And I just think, like, moving here, and, you know, it's hard to get girls to shoot in the sun, you know what I mean?
You shoot in the blizzard. So
being able to just have situations like that happen, like, you know, help me be a lot better here with just like, no matter the situation, no matter location, you're going to figure it out. It's just like street photography. Right. You know, I can go anywhere in the world and shoot street photography because it's all still... You know, so coming here, it's like, you know what, just do your thing. Just do it there. Like, whatever the location is, figure it out. And that's kind of how I just kept it here. But, you know, like I was saying, now I'm in that phase where the street photography is about to start approaching, like, the work now. Because I haven't been, like, I don't think anyone has really seen, you know, me shoot models like that. Or... not just shoot models like that, but use shots that I have like that, you know, that are more street photography instead of it just being like, you know, one of my favorite models, Maria, she told me, like, you know, my work, like some work she's seen is too perfect. You know what I mean? Like where some images is going to be too perfect. It's going to be, you can tell the model's position, everything is perfect in the shot or whatever. But with me, whenever I shoot, and I was able to learn and get good at this with her because she models and she moves. You know what I mean? I don't have to really like coach and guide her unless I want to make like a small adjustments and stuff. But that helped with me taking my street photography approach to shooting models, where as long as you keep moving, I'm able to like move all over, like with a prime lens, move all over. And then now I got the zoom, so now I can figure out how to like still do it and still get tight shots. But still like just only shoot upwards, but I might only get like the back part of her hair and her shoulder, you know what I mean? Where that's photography, you know, that's still a dope shot. We're so like, I feel like we get stuck that the image that we're posting is the only way to do it. You know what I mean? I think that's where you learn to grow too, when you figure out, wait a minute, I'm taking myself way too serious. Like, this shot don't have to be perfectly lined up. The lighting don't have to be. I just have to figure out, all right, if I shoot this shot, how can I edit this? Like, what colors can I add to this that's not going to, can I make it look like it's film and grainy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you start learning and you start, like, finding new styles and you start creating new things. So
combining them together to make something special for you.
Exactly. So now is when I felt, and I've been doing it more often with the shoots because I haven't been posting, but I've still been able to, like, link up with model friends that, appreciate the work and I appreciate them just being able to get out there, keep the eye sharp and still practice that style. It's almost like, a kung fu drunken master style where it's unorthodox. Like, there's no real, like, way to position you. Like, if it is, I'll tell you, and that's what I'm going to try to, like, get models to learn as well is just keep moving.
Just keep moving.
Keep moving, for sure.
I love that mentality. Is there something that you see that a lot of younger photographers are doing that you would warn them about? Or, like, mistakes that they could be making? Because you've been doing this for almost a decade, and so every single day there's a new photographer out there. Is there anything that you see that maybe a mistake that you see a lot of new photographers making?
I don't really see too many mistakes. I do see a lot of the BTS thing. I think I see a lot of BTS that kind of just get the thought, like, if you know me, I don't post BTS. Like, I don't, especially with the phone. Mm-hmm. Like, I am not pulling my phone out at a shoot to, like, do videos. If I do it, it's because, like, this location, this is, like, a really, really beautiful, like, but, if I'm just at a shoot with the beach or whatever, I don't really.
When you say BTS, you mean, like, of you shooting or of what's happening?
Like, with the model. So what I'm saying is more so, like, coaching. Mm-hmm. I think everybody that's something that I can't say it's a mistake because, people could be learning it. And I don't know if it's something that they're, like, actually doing to even know if they're making that decision. You know what I mean? But if they're not just trying to learn how to coach the models better when it comes to, like, BTS, posting a video of a model, you can tell that she looks like she doesn't know what to do, with the next movement of her hand or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like,
I see what you mean.
It's like you could have just shaved off a couple of, because I'm just thinking, and I only do that because I'm real, like, tedious. Like, I'm real, like, because, when you remove things like that, now it makes her look like a better model because you ended it at 3 seconds instead of 6 when, last 3 seconds was her just, like, fumbling a little bit. Right, you know what I mean? Right. And you kind of do it for yourself too with your work is you're just willing to post that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to just post. It's putting quality first before just, like, trying to upload, post, and hit.
Right.
Trim the video a little bit. You know what I mean? Take more time with the BTS. Like, I can say that when I don't even post it, but that is something that I do see that I feel like I wish they kind of, put a little bit more thought into.
More thought before. Like, I agree with you. I agree because there's, like, a rush to never not post, right? Yeah, there's a rush to always have a new post every single day or to post twice a day, especially now with TikTok, you want to post 2-3 times a day. Yeah. And so it's almost like people stop caring about what they're posting. Yeah. And it means less because they just care about the quantity of the posts. Yeah. And that's something that I struggle with as well. Like recently I've started not posting every day. I started posting maybe once every 3 or 4 days. Okay. Because of that reason, because I felt like I was posting just to post.
Just posting.
And it's almost like I appreciate my work more because
you get a little bit more time to, like, look at it again and edit it, you know? And that's why that was that's what I say with, getting bored and shooting the same thing, because you're just going to end up falling like every other photographer, shooting the same type of stuff, trying to, like, get the work to fit in with whatever's working on IG with the models at the time, because we all want to work with the girls. We want them to see the work and want them to work with us, Right. So eventually you start seeing the same thing, and it's just like, now your work, you get bored a little bit. You're not really, like, caring about the edit, so you're posting videos that you could have, edited, or you're posting pictures like, you could have retouched that a little bit better. Because even it's happened to me, you know what I mean? Whereas you get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm about to just hang it up. I'm done shooting models. And then the last few shoots was just like, wasn't me 100%. You know what I'm saying? Because it got to a point where it was the same thing.
You burn yourself out.
You burn yourself out for sure.
What do you find to be the hardest part of being a photographer or being a creative in general?
Believing in it. You know what I mean? Believing in yourself. I feel like there's a lot of creatives who may not really believe in themselves, because we all go through a phase where we know we can do something with, you know what I'm saying, our creative abilities and stuff like that, but we don't know how far it can go. But I do think that's something that, you know, a lot of people just got to really believe in them. So, like, if you really think that you could be X type of photographer, you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not so much like you thinking you have to be in competition, or, you know, it's one of these things where you have to just believe in yourself. And I know a lot of guys that don't. I know a lot of photographers that when I was shooting early on that isn't shooting anymore. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where they at? Like, what's going on? You know, why isn't it? And it's one of those things where you just got to believe it. You got to stick to it. You got to keep doing it. You got to, like, and if you lose that, you lose the ability to grow. You know what I mean? So if you are a photographer that don't really believe in yourself, I think you got to, like, put some more respect on your work.
When was the last time you didn't believe in yourself? If ever. Like, never.
No, recently. You know what I mean? Like, that's when I told you I was talking about my lady, and it was, you know, not really thinking the work was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I could be better, but I just think I was missing something, and that whole street photography aspect of it was kind of like what it was that I was missing. And now that I'm doing it, but that was around that time when I was just like, you know what, this was recent. This was 2021.
Yeah, it's a couple years ago.
2021, where I was just like, you know what, this might be my last year or whatever. Like, it was just
like that.
Because it was just boring. Like, it just got to a point where I wasn't learning. I wasn't seeing, like, too much. So I just was like, you know what, I wasn't really on the IG. Because then that's something too where I'm not really, like, on my phone all the time or on IG looking all the time. So, because like I said, I try to find inspo outside sometimes. You know, you got to go outside. That's how I started photography. That's how I got to, like, keep doing it. So, yeah, like, honestly, man, like, I wasn't shooting models, and I was just like, you'll find me at the park shooting people playing basketball, people playing soccer, you know, if they playing golf. I'm like, hey, I got a camera. Can I get some, like, that's just how I did it, you know? So it became that. And then I start working, and, you know, I got caught up in work, and it kind of helped me just kind of, you know, slow down, realize what I need to do, how I want to do it. And that's when, you know, the real belief in self started happening. But around that time, in the, like, mid 2021 was like, I don't think it was so much not believing in myself, if I can be honest. Like, I don't think it was that. I think it was more so like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, what am I really doing? You know what I'm saying? So, am I going to just keep shooting this and keep shooting it? Or, like, do I really want to, like, do something bigger with just shooting models and with photography with this? And I think that's more so what it was, opposed to just not believing in myself. Because, you know, you would ask me about street photography at that time. I'm like, yeah, I'm nice. Right? Like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I got you. But, yeah, that was around that time. And then I went through that phase of just work and stuff, and I slowly got back to just being like, I know what I need to do. I know I want to go back outside for a little bit. I really want to go out, appreciate Florida, and just try to get some work in and give it actually, like, a real chance. Because I ain't really take it serious. Like, it was just, yeah, I can go shoot these models. I can make some money. I can try to do it for a living. But it never really worked out just doing it full time for a living. You know, it just was because I'm a working guy. You know, I'm working since I was 18. You know, try to get me to leave work to take pictures. It sounds good, but, you know, finally it caught up to me like, yo, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, that's when the real belief hit me and was like, yo, take off, do what you need to do, go put in the work, and, you know, we'll be here.
Yeah, I love that. You mentioned your wife? girlfriend, fiance.
Wife for sure.
Man, how do you do it? How do you juggle this industry with relationship?
Yeah. Have you had to try to have a relationship, or are you in one?
I've tried, man. It's not the easiest thing in the world. I need some advice, bro.
No,
is your wife a model, or your fiance?
No, she's not. She's not. Far from it. Like, she don't want to, like. That's not her world at all. Right. You know what I mean? Like, she's not. And it's crazy. You would think like she would be Duffey, shooting models, whatever. But like, I don't even know if she remembers. I remember like we were talking early on, and she was like, "Oh, I'm not a model, or whatever." Right? This is before I even thought about photography or pictures. And I told her, like, you know, even back then, just that's not what what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here for somebody that I like, I love, that I want to be with and stuff. So that's kind of how it happened with me. You know, this was someone before the camera. You know what I mean? So it wasn't no photography. It was just me trying to figure out life. You know what I'm saying? Early 23 years old. Mm-hmm. So going into being a photographer and stuff, man, listen, the obvious, you know what I'm saying? You're shooting women, hotel rooms, you know what I mean? Yeah. Moody lighting, you know what I mean? Women might be naked, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where me having an understanding, you know what I'm saying, with how she, how her feelings and how she feels about it, and taking that, and whenever I'm going into this, to keep that in mind, you know what I'm saying? Like, and having her trust, because look, man, at the end of the day, it's all about the work. Yeah. So if I'm gonna do this, and the most important thing I have to make sure that is my only priority is the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is it. If I'm going to a shoot, you'll see it when I post it that I went and did some work and I made money for it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that, is, famous photographers or what, I'm sure, like, they didn't have trouble when they were shooting fancy art, nude. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, that was their profession. That's what they were good at, whatever. And for me, it was, my profession isn't, whatever it could be at the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like a scientist or something. No, I'm a professional photographer, and I'm great at it. Mm-hmm. And I can go find women that may have some type of look or whatever, or maybe even a style that we can shoot that I can get some great work from, whether it's nude or with clothes. And I think she understood that once she started seeing the work like really flourish, and like, it was one of those things where, yeah, man, it takes some work. Any relationship in general isn't, just easy. You know what I'm saying? Everything takes work, and that's how, we get through it. We don't have any issues. You know what I mean? I'm working. You know what I'm saying?
It's your job, like anyone else's job.
Yep, man. It's obviously, it's probably every man's dream. You know what I'm saying? And have a fiance and go shoot women and stuff. But I do take it serious. Like, it's a privilege to be around these women and get that respect from them, to be able to, like, get this work in. Because I was raised by, my moms. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I was raised by a lot of beautiful women, my aunts. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. My sister and stuff. I have women in my life that if this ever happens to them, I would feel some way. You know what I'm saying? So 100%. Me going into it, I know it's just like my girl. If my girl was modeling and I know she got to go to a shoot, it's like, why would I like put someone in a situation that I would like go crazy if she was in that situation? 100%. You know what I'm saying?
100%. So like treating somebody like a person.
Exactly. And even when I'm shooting with guys that like they're girlfriends, and I'm shooting, it's number of respect. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here, I'm shooting you, we're going to get some work. Yeah. We're going to be happy. It's going to be, you know what I'm saying, a great exchange, and it's going to be love. Right. And that's why I end up having great relationships with, the boyfriends and stuff, because it's a mutual respect at the end of the day amongst all parties, whether it's not just, honestly, not just, my fiance, not just a model or whatever, but for myself, you know what I mean? I know it's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? You got to try to fight to do the right thing, even if it is hard, you know what I mean? But Yeah, bro. It's tough, but you have to find somebody that is going to get to that understanding with you of what you're doing it. Is it like, all right, is it lucrative? You know what I mean? Yeah, because you just out here just doing it for nothing. Like you can't.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Now, if you believe in it and you get into it, you'll see money.
Yeah.
Like,
well, like anything you put in time, patience, and effort in, you're going to find, a return on.
For sure.
But it's. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say. Yeah, you're gonna find if you invest enough time into it and you're consistent enough, you're gonna see. It's gonna be.
I'll say you put money into your camera, your lenses, it'll pay you back
every single time. Every single time. Yeah. I'm gonna need to start another podcast, just dating advice from you, because that's good, man.
Oh man, I mean, before this relationship, I'm not probably the best guy to get relationship advice.
I'm not the guy for that at all, bro. But listen, I want to thank you for taking the time to come out here and talk to me and have a conversation and let me know how you got started and just everything that you were able to teach me and to hopefully teach other people.
For sure.
Where can people find you on social media? I know you're very mysterious now, but how can people find you?
Well, Mister Duffey on IG, Mister Duffey with EY. I know everybody kind of always miss the E at the end.
FFY.
yeah, everyone does. Even like emails. I miss emails sometimes because of that. But Mister Duffey on IG. I'm trying to get the Twitter going, so you can follow me on Twitter as well, Mister Duffey. But I got another page for my street photography where I've been shooting like cars and stuff now, mostly since I've been in Florida. But that's G Duff at G_Duff DUFF. Yeah, man, that's where you can find all the work. MrDuffey.com. I got prints for sale.
Okay.
That's something I'm about to start moving into as well with just the model work, getting more prints out there. So yeah.
Any music coming out? Man.
I don't know. Like I have moments where I kind of just get bored. I pull out the laptop, got the mic, and I got beats for sure that but I want to do it and do it with a film and release a soundtrack. I want to kind of do it a dope way, you know what I'm saying?
There we go.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, again, brother, thank you so much.
No, man. Look, first, I want to say, man, I appreciate you. This is dope. Like, this podcast, I ain't gonna say you need more like it, but you just need more people up here for sure. Like, everybody should just be more willing to come on here, man, and kind of talk and give out information, give out pointers, and that's what I love. Like, I like doing a podcast thing, and I try to start one during quarantine, and just something cool just to do with the homies, and the guys behind the camera need to start like talking and just like building with each other and just like developing more relationships and just, man, we could be doing so much more together. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, we could do so much more together, and we get there for sure.
Of course.
For sure. This is great. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. You're a great photographer yourself.
Trying.
No, man, for real. It's always good when you I know I can get on IG and I will see somebody that got like work that I'm like, all right, cool, they got something. God forbid the algorithms is not showing me anything, then I gotta go like remember to search people names and try to But yeah, man, it's one of those things where dog. Keep shooting. You're gonna keep evolving. You're gonna keep creating, and you're gonna see yourself like that's. You're gonna see it where something will change, and just like maybe gear or might be whatever something, and you'll look at the work that you have now, and you'll be like, okay, I see where I could separate the work. Like I see where I could take this all out and just start with this. It'll click for you, and I hope it do. I hope it do because. It's fun. It's like a new learning process. It's not like, it's like this, man. It's the weekend before everybody know him, and then, he gets famous and drop a pop album, and everybody like, oh, why you do that? Yeah. It's like, yo, we want to create. We want to we want to do more. So for sure, bro, for sure.
Awesome.
For sure.
I love that analogy, man.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.